Down, down, Myanmar! As a Muslim brother, we're proud being Muslim. No matter what, you are black, white, brown, we're proud to be Muslim. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Allahu Akbar! We're proud to be Muslim. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're coming to you from the streets of Pretoria, just outside the Myanmar embassy, where a group of protesters have gathered. More than hundreds of protesters have gathered here to protest the genocides that's taking place in Myanmar. We're going to be in the next few minutes speaking to some of the organizers as well as speaking to some of the protesters who are here.
Please, we have a very short time before we can hand over the memorandum. I think that we're going to push forward because we have less than 10 minutes. I'm going to ask our attorney, Ziad Patel, who has drafted our memorandum, to read it out before we hand over to the embassy so that everyone is aware of it. Those organizations who have supported us on this memorandum, could you send your representatives forward towards the gate of the embassy so that you can be part of the handing over. I'm handing over now to Ziad Patel.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters and fellow comrades. We are gathered here on a very important occasion because we are on the cusp of something of a situation that the entire of humanity can be destroyed if our voices remain silent in the face of ethnic cleansing and genocide. So your attendance here is by no short term. It's a very important aspect for you to be here today and to continue the message in solidarity with the people of Rohingya. I would say that we have prepared through the South African group of Rohingya a memorandum which will be read. I will ask everybody to please remain silent so that everyone knows and understands what this memorandum means. Before I start, I want to mention Nelson Mandela, who said, no one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. I will now read the memorandum. This memorandum is delivered to the Embassy of the Republic of Union of Myanmar, South Africa, by the Protect Rohingya and endorsed by, amongst other, civil society, cultural, religious and political organizations, and it can be accessed through the Media Review Network. We are deeply disturbed and angered by authenticated and credible reports emanating from Myanmar regarding the ongoing ethnic cleansing and genocide of the Rohingya, a minority Muslim ethnic civilian population, which includes vulnerable women, children and babies in Rakhine State. Gross human rights violations of the Rohingya have been recorded since 1978. The Rohingya are denied the rights to education, land and freedom of movement, employment, and to marry without state permission. They are also subjected to both forced labor and forced sterilization. Since the latest egregious operations carried out by the Myanmar military on 25 August 2017, it is reported that the brutality of the military regime has caused over 3,000 Rohingya Muslims to flee to neighboring Bangladesh, whilst a few hundred thousand remain internally displaced. More than 40 villages have been intentionally razed and burned to the ground. In fact, that figure has gone up to 176 villages in Rakhine State. More than 400,000 Rohingya require urgent humanitarian aid, and already over 2,000 people have been killed. Amongst the atrocities, satellite imagery analyzed by Human Rights Watch illustrates hundreds of buildings have been destroyed in at least 17 sites across the Rakhine State. Since 25th of August, 700 structures that appear to have been burned down in just the village of Chenkali. And we will not be in any way misdirected by people saying that some of the images are not true, some of the images are not authenticated, because we have credible and authenticated reports of thousands of Rohingya being displaced because of ethnic cleansing. So we must insist on the international community that we must focus on these international investigations as I will discuss further down. This discriminatory clearance operations have caused the destruction of entire villages with the use of disproportionate force and collective punishment of an innocent and defenseless Rohingya ethnic minority. With extreme concern we say that these are unconscionable deeds amongst humanity, and this includes forceful seizure of babies from the arms of their mothers, throwing of babies into rivers, live human mutilation, execution-style shootings and beheadings, evidenced by horrific images that are emerging. These acts are being perpetrated by the Rohingya, against the Rohingya, by the Myanmar military state, aided and abetted by Islamophobic right-wing regimes and ultra-nationalist Buddhist monks alike. What are our demands? We demand that the Myanmar government immediately intervenes and take responsibility for the widespread atrocities that have displaced thousands of Rohingya. We demand that the Myanmar government take immediate responsibility and permit the United Nations fact-finding mission into Myanmar, and more specifically into affected areas to investigate allegations of mass rape, genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. And I just ask everyone to look at some of the photographs around you, and you can see for yourself that this is nothing less than ethnic cleansing. This is nothing less than genocide, and that we must stand up for the Myanmar people. We must stand up for the Rohingya and for the minority populations that are displaced. We demand that continuing ethnic cleansing and genocide, including war crimes and crimes against humanity, must cease immediately. We demand that the perpetrators of ethnic cleansing and genocide must be investigated, arrested, and indicted for international war crimes and crimes against humanity. We demand that the immediate arrest and prosecution of right-wing ultra-nationalists like the so-called Buddhist. He calls him a religious person. He says that he's a man of cloth, but he does not in any way represent what Buddhism is supposed to represent, which is peace and tolerance amongst all religions. So we say that this criminal, this war criminal, Ajin Warasu, who spews out Islamophobic hate speech and incites violence, which is causally linked to the ethnic cleansing and genocide of the Rohingya. The Myanmar government must implement whatever measures are necessary for the immediate end to all hostilities and atrocities being perpetrated against the Rohingya people. This must include recommendations by the Advisory Commission of the Rakhine State, led by the former Secretary General Kofi Annan. The Myanmar government must implement measures for access to proper food, security, clean water and sanitation. They must allow unhindered access of international humanitarian aid and relief into all affected areas. They must immediately allow the United Nations and Human Rights Watch groups as independent observers into the affected areas with the purpose of protecting the Rohingya and documenting the perpetration of gross human rights violations. We demand proper and immediate medical care and unhindered access of medical personnel, and it includes medical rescue to enter into affected areas to provide the necessary urgent services required by the displaced and fleeing Rohingya. We state that the process of rehabilitation of effects of brutality and ethnic cleansing encounters is of paramount importance to ordinary civilians. I also want to say that we have a detailed memorandum that will be handed up to the embassy, and I also want to add that through the Rohingya group, we have arranged through legal representation for a formal letter to be sent to the Department of International Relations of South Africa, and we have specific demands against the South African government to end, to implement boycotts, divestments and sanctions, to immediately permit the allowing of international bodies. So we are going to hand out the memorandum.
The prophet Ezekiel in the Hebrew Bible, when he visited the exiles in Babylon who had been forcibly removed, he spent 7 days sitting in total silence, identifying with the suffering of the exiles. And I think we should do that now. In addition to our slogans, which are essential, I think it's also that silence is appropriate now. If I can just ask that we have a minute of silence to identify with all those Rohingya people who have been killed. Children, women who have been raped. Let's just have a minute of silence to identify with their suffering and their plight. I think the Jewish Holocaust survivor, Elie Wiesel, taught us that the opposite of love is not hatred. The opposite of love is indifference or apathy. And I think together with the Imam, I need to also make tawbah to say that we have done nothing. We have allowed, through our indifference and apathy, the suffering of the Rohingya people to continue in a series of ways of trying to run away from the violence and the military dictatorship. So we have to admit that we failed, and we have to commit ourselves to stand in solidarity with them, to call on the Myanmar government to recognize the Rohingya people as citizens, which they are not at the moment, and to ask everyone with any power, the United Nations, the Bangladesh government, the Indian government, to do everything they can to stop the killing and to start a process of return of the people to their homes and the negotiation that would lead to peace.
Quran is worthy of dignity and respect, and it is our duty that we show respect and we dignify human beings. If we do not dignify human beings, may the Almighty forbid one day it must not happen that we will be indignified. So this whole situation, we must keep in mind, many people will say, what is the use while we are gathering here in a small gathering, what impact it will have upon the oppressors? And these are oppressors. Down with the oppressors. Down with the oppressors. Not misled and deceived by Nobel Peace Prize when your action goes against it. You are killing people and you want to take pride in having a Nobel Peace Prize. Bear in mind that when we get together to protest against the indignity, the killing, the oppression, the injustice against anyone else in the world, we are protecting our own justice, our own dignity, our own safety. Because if we do not make a noise with regard to the injustice and killing of someone else, one day it must not come and visit us. And therefore it's our duty, whatever voice we can muster, the Almighty is hearing us. And when we make this voice, one day it will come to fruition. Just as the apartheid regime came to an end, this will also come to an end. Do not regard your coming here today, do not regard your gathering here today, do not regard your voice today as insignificant. I take an oath that in the hands and in the eyes of the Almighty, it is very significant, it is very powerful. The fear. And we also pray for the relief of those people, the Rohingya Muslims and the oppressed people of the world. We call upon the people who are oppressing that be aware of the overlordship of the Almighty. One day it will catch up with you what you are doing. Takbir!
Love each other. We should give each other space, because the sun shines the same over every head. There's enough space for everyone. So I call on my Buddhist brothers and sisters all over the world to come out and speak. Go give humanitarian help. Go to Myanmar if it's possible. Go there and help your brothers and sisters from the Rohingya, because they are all our brothers and sisters equal. Equal, equal, equal. So stop the genocide. Stop the genocide.
Today's protest has seen people of all ages, all races, from different parts of the country. I'm delighted to be joined now by Zinat Paruk and two young children here who are also voicing their displeasure at what's been happening in Myanmar. Zinat, assalamu alaikum, welcome to ITV.
Wa alaikum salam.
Why are you here, and more importantly, why are the little kids here?
So I'm here with my kids to teach them about awareness of what is happening around the world. I think it's very important that we as Muslims have a voice and that we don't remain silent. And it's important for these kids to grow up knowing the same thing, just like myself.
And for you guys, why do you think it's important to be here today?
Because all the Muslims in Rohingya are being killed.
And how does it make you feel as a young Muslim child here in South Africa?
It makes me feel sad.
And what do you want the South Africans to do to make sure that it doesn't happen so often again in Rohingya?
To save them, yes.
And what your message to the Rohingya children, what would you like to say to them?
I would like to say to them, sorry that we couldn't save them.
if you listen to that, more than any interview we did today, when you hear what a young child says, that we need to apologize to our Rohingyan brothers and sisters and children by just saying, sorry, we couldn't do more. But you know what? This is a start today. Today being here in Pretoria is a start. It might have been a bit difficult a few minutes ago with tear gas and rubber bullets and stun grenades being thrown at us. But to see two young children standing here still after that shows how much the Ummah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam means to each other. And we've been mentioning it over a while, the unity of the Ummah. And Sister Zinat again, just listening to the two young men, I know I've cut you out a bit there, but it's so important that he said that we need to apologize, but also now it's time for us to be proactive.
Absolutely, and I think it goes beyond this. It's just a bit difficult to say do jihad, etc. Are we really going to do that? But this is one small step to create awareness for our country and for those who don't know.
Thank you so much for your time. So that was Sister Zinat and her children being here, just explaining to us why they are here. We'll be back with with some more interviews in a few minutes. We're joined now by Mohammed, one of the protesters here. Mohammed, why are you here for this march?
We are here to protest against the genocide which is happening in Ukraine now. So we are saying to our brothers in the whole world, especially the UN Security Council, can you take charge of this, be responsibility? Killing, it's not good. Killing for peace, killing for freedom, it's not good. Let's stop this genocide. It's against humanity, it's against mankind. Let's stop killing Muslims. Muslims are not terrorists. Terrorists is the government itself, because they are not taking charge of what is going on in the world.
Jazakallah, Mohammed, for your time. It was Brother Mohammed just giving us some kind of why is he here for the march today. We're going to be speaking to more of the protesters who are here to do the march. I'm joined by Mohammed Desai from BDS South Africa, and it's very similar fights that we're all fighting for. The fight for Palestine, the fight for Myanmar, the fight and the plight of the Rohingya Muslims. Mohammed, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Jazakallah so much for having me. BDS South Africa and our members are here to support the plight of the Rohingya people, a people that are one of the most persecuted people in this world, and what the United Nations has described as a textbook form of ethnic cleansing.
We see the last few weeks especially, but this genocide has been going on for longer than 2 or 3 weeks. But we've seen some of the pictures, really heartbreaking pictures coming from Myanmar.
The kind of violence being perpetrated against the people of Rohingya, the children that are being killed, the mothers that are being raped, the grandmothers that are being witnesses to these atrocities is completely unacceptable. And so we're here to send a clear message, firstly to the government of Myanmar, but secondly also to our own government to take far stronger action against what's happening. It's actually embarrassing that South Africa is not at the forefront of defending the people of Rohingya.
Mohammed, thank you so much for your time. I see the protest is coming closer to us.
Jazakallah so much.
That was Mohammed Desai from BDS, just saying how important it is for us and for the South African government to take a more important role in this fight for the Rohingya Muslims. I'm joined by Ziad Patel, one of the organizers of today. Ziad, thank you for joining us. I know it's quite a big crowd we've got here, at the police also firing tear gas at the protesters. But from an international law point of view, what else can be done now?
Okay, I'd like to first of all say that, as part of the organizing team, we wanted to thank everybody that attended today's protest. As I've mentioned earlier, that we are on the destruction of humanity if we keep silent and remain silent in the face of ethnic cleansing and genocide. More especially, I can say that from the crimes that are being perpetrated, that these are most certainly crimes against humanity, and these are war crimes and genocide as well. And that they are war criminals in the Myanmar government, Aung San Suu Kyi, as well as this Ashin Waratu, who continues to spew Islamophobic rhetoric. Also, I would like to mention is that we always intended to have a peaceful demonstration. That has always been the intent of the South African group for Rohingya. Unfortunately, there has been an element of anger and an element of extreme anger, I would say, under the circumstances, and that the demonstration did go a little bit awry. However, we are in communications with South African police services. As you can see, South African police services are guarding the Myanmar embassy gate, including individuals from the Rohingya group has guarded the gate when the gate was almost attacked by demonstrators. I would urge demonstrators to please now vacate to vacate the area. The demonstration is officially over, and we must all continue in our own capacity within, as individuals and in communities to challenge the Myanmar government and to stand in solidarity with the people of Burma, and more especially the Rohingya minority, ethnic minority population. And let's not forget that there are also Hindu minority populations that are also being targeted because they refuse to join the Myanmar military junta in committing and perpetrating crimes against the Rohingya Muslims who have now traveled to Bangladesh. We know that there's huge displacement. We know that there's the most unspeakable, most atrocious and abominable crimes that are being committed against the Rohingya people, and we demand from the international community and we demand from the South African government that we are a bastion of democracy, we are a constitutional state. We know what we have experienced during the time of apartheid. We are experienced, we've actually endured the crime of apartheid, and the Rohingya people are suffering nothing less than apartheid and discrimination, and this has now led to ethnic cleansing and genocide.
Siad, thank you so much for your time. What do you expect the South African government to do? What's your expectations there?
Well, from the South African government, we have officially sent a letter of correspondence from our legal representative team stating that we would want immediate cessation of diplomatic and trade relations. We want also the South African government to facilitate an international mission for an international convoy of people to go and investigate the alleged crimes of genocide, war crimes, and so forth. And we want the South African government to be more active, and more especially because of our history and because of where we've come from. If I've not mentioned it earlier, I want to confirm that the memorandum has been handed over. Unfortunately, as a result of the situation that has unfolded, the Myanmar embassy has refused to accept our memorandum officially. However, I have personally handed it over on behalf of the South African Group for Rohingya to members of the South African Police Services who have indicated that they will hand over the memorandum, which contains a list of our demands as well as the issues that I play as more especially the geopolitical dynamics in that part of the world.
Thank you so much for your time. It was one of the organizers of today's march, Siad Patel, just giving us a brief overview of today. I'm joined now by Maulana Musa Badat. Maulana, from an ulama point of view, how important it is from an Islamic point of view for us to take part in activities like this, and also to show our support for our brethren in Myanmar.
Like our beloved Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the Muslim Ummah is like one body. When one part of that body feels pain, the entire Ummah feels pain. And here today, we saw the unity of the Ummah. Alhamdulillah, brothers from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Somalia, from all parts of the world that came, that now call South Africa home, had joined up here. Just one answer from my perspective was that shame on the South African Muslims. Shame on you because you people couldn't take out an hour of your time to come and support what's happening in Rohingya, to support our Muslim brothers and sisters and babies that have been massacred. But alhamdulillah, there is light at the end of the tunnel. We see the Muslim Ummah unite, and that's what Islam means. Islam means peace. Islam, our beloved Nabi Sallallahu, the Quran says that if you kill one person, it's like killing the entire humanity. But if you save one person, it's like saving the entire humanity. So alhamdulillah, I would say this demonstration, this protest, more so for the unity of our Muslims in South Africa and to show our support to the brothers in Rohingya and all the brothers all across the world, whether it's Palestine, whether it's Sham, whether it's Central Africa. Our hearts are with them, our spirits are with them, our du'as are with them, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect them and help them and alleviate their suffering.
Jazakallah so much for your time, Maulana. Maulana Musa Badat just giving us an Islamic perspective on how important the unity of the Ummah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is. We've come to the end of this broadcast. Thank you for joining us. We pay tribute to the protesters who were here, who faced the tear gas, who faced the stun grenades. We pay tribute to the organizers, but most of all, our du'as and our prayers are with our Rohingyan brothers and sisters and children who are suffering the most untold misery that one can imagine. We've seen the pictures. Now is the time for us to turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask Allah to ease their suffering. From all of us in the team, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.